What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see behind me, doing a bunch of gel testing under a nice blue sunny sky. And the one we got coming up this time is one that always sparks up some pretty interesting discussions. So as you see, we got the jelly contraption ready for duty, got the chrono out here, got 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done a test in this first block already that's got a few tracks and quite a few little stragglers caught out into the second block, but we should have enough room to get several more done out here. But as y'all can see by the title, this is one, like I said, that always brings up several different types of discussions, and it's the 10mm versus 40 Smith & Wesson. And to be more specific, it's the Hornady critical duty in both of those calibers. Exactly the same projectiles, the exact same weights, both of them 175 grain with the flex lock projectile. As far as the box velocities, the 40 is saying 1,010, the 10mm is saying 1,150. So we'll see if either one of these actually lives up to those velocities, or if they just left a bunch of extra air in the 10mm case. But as you can plainly see, they're exactly the same rounds, other than the fact that the 10mm is obviously a little longer as far as the case goes. Now the tools we're using for this one are both full-size Glocks. For the 10mm, we got the Glock 20. For the 40 Smith & Wesson, we got the Glock 22. Both of these have the exact same barrel length, right at 4.5 inches on the barrel length, same exact platform, so you can't really get any more fair of a test than this one right here. Now I've done one of these 10mm versus 40 tests in the past with the exact same type of ammo. It was some old nozzler stuff, but I did both of those out of the Glock 20 before I picked up this dedicated 40 for the Glock, and I got a lot of comments, or well, not a lot, but some, you know, people wanting to blame the fact that the 40's head spacing off the extractor in the Glock 20, saying, you know, it could be losing performance, this, that, and the other thing. So this right here ought to put all of that to rest. These are the exact same rounds, exact same barrel length, and both of them run out of a tool that's dedicated for their chamber. But enough all that talking about it. Let me get everything set up and let's get started. All right, y'all, let's check out the speeds on these things. As usual, I'm gonna run 3 rounds across the chrono out of both of them. I'm gonna start out with the Glock 22 40 Smith & Wesson first and see what kind of speeds we get. 1,016, 1,015, and 1,010, so really consistent speeds. Let's check that average out. All right, so the 3-round average of our 40 Smith & Wesson critical duty is 1,013 feet per second. If y'all remember the box velocity, it was saying 1,010, so I absolutely love it when these rounds actually meet or exceed the rated box velocity. So this one's doing a great job of doing what it says on the box. So 1,013 on the Glock 22 40. Let me get this reset and let's see what that 10mm does. All right, y'all, here we go with the 10mm. The box on these are calling for 1,150, so it's gonna be very interesting to see if these meet that velocity also. 1101, 1126, and 1103, so definitely didn't meet the advertised velocity. Let's go down there and check that out. All right, y'all, so the 3-round average from the 10mm was 1,110 feet per second. So I pretty much figured this 10 wasn't gonna meet the advertised velocity. Y'all 10mm users out there, y'all know that most of this 10 mil factory ammo mainstream stuff is so watered down that it's a shame to even call it 10mm, because 1,110 feet per second from a 175 grain projectile, that's definitely not up to 10mm par for me. But anyway, like I say, 1,110 feet per second average out of 10mm, and if you remember on that 40, it was 1,013, so you're talking about what, 97 feet per second faster from the 10mm. 97 feet per second, with it just being 1,000 total, that's 10%, so I'd call that a significant difference, but still not what I expect to see out of 10mm. But anyway, let's see what that 97 feet per second does in the gel. Let me get this reset and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's short versus long jelly time. We'll put 1 round out of each one of them down there into the gel, and we'll start out with the 40 Smith & Wesson Glock 22 first. So let's see what we can get, y'all. All right, look like a good hit. Let me go down there and make sure it stayed in. All right, that was actually perfect placement on that one. And so far from what I can see, very good performance out of that. So let's try this 10 millimeter. I'm gonna try my luck, and I'm gonna try to squeeze this up above that without going through the top. We may have to take 2 shots on this one, y'all. Well, that is not where I meant to go, but I guess that'll work as long as it stayed in the block. Let's go down there and check those out. I believe I jinxed myself, y'all, because that thing exited stage left on me again. So I'm gonna try this one more time up above, and if not, I'm just gonna hit that clear space down below there. All right, I'm not even sure where that one went. I think I see it. Yeah, I think I see it. Let's go down there and see if that stayed in. All right, y'all, that 10 millimeter placement wasn't exactly what I had planned, but it actually worked out in the end. You can see both wound channels really good. So what we got here, this big one right in the middle here, that's the first 10 I took that went out the side. Very nice wound channel on it. It kept on going, and it came out the side right here. I've noticed that a lot of times when these projectiles come out the side, it's pretty much at the end of their travel, because if you can see this second 10 that I took that stayed in the gel, it's basically right there. It stopped right where this other one went out the side. So anyway, so that being said, that very bottom one, that's the 10 millimeter. Again, fantastic wound channel coming in here, carries on out here, pokes just barely into this second block, and then rebounds and sits right here and basically right at the end of this first block of gel. And it looks like I got some pretty nice expansion on that thing, especially for a critical duty. Now the 40 is the one up above that middle one there. So honestly, you can't tell the difference between the wound channels on the 40 and the 10. They both look pretty much the same. It comes in also really nice wound channel, carries through, goes into the second block, looks like about 1.5 to 2 inches. And stops facing forward right there. It's also got some pretty decent expansion for being a critical duty. Now, it don't look like as much as the 10, but still some pretty good expansion. So a little less expansion and a little bit more penetration, which stands to reason. Now, as far as the penetration measurements, this 40 stopped at exactly 18 inches. So 18 inches of travel on the 40. The 10 millimeter poked into this second block 1/4 inch, so 16.25 inches out of that 10 millimeter. Give you a little overhead look so you can see the wound channels maybe a little better. This one at the front, that's the one that went out the side. Then the next one, that's gonna be the 10 millimeter, and then this one right here, that's gonna be the 40. So as y'all can see, they travel on down. The 10 pokes into the second block just a little bit, and then you see the 40 there into the second block. All right, y'all, let's check out these projectiles. So right here is the 10 millimeter, right here's the 40. You can obviously see that the 10 expanded more. You can just see the depth of the cavity there on the 10 as it peeled back. The size of the projectile is noticeably bigger. If you look from the side, you can see it peeled back further, the base of the bullet. Now, that being said, this 40 performed very nicely also. These critical duties, like I've mentioned before, they're not meant for huge expansion. They're meant more for barrier penetration, and both of these did an excellent job in the penetration department and threw in some very nice expansion to go with it. Now, as far as weight retention, I don't see any material left in the gel, and normally these critical duties pretty much retain all their weight, but let's check them out and make sure. Now, the little red insert was stopped with both of these, so I'm going to include the red insert in the weight. So both of them started at 175 grains. Now the 10 millimeter, 175.4 with the red insert. The 40 cal is 174.9 with the red insert. So no material loss on either one of those. Now, as far as the expansion measurement, this is definitely where we're going to see a difference. We'll start with the 10 millimeter, 596, 603, and 594. So some really nice expansion on that one. The 40 Smith & Wesson, 549, 552, and 546. So nice expansion on that one also, but obviously not as much as the 10 millimeter. So there you have it, y'all. The critical duty 10 millimeter versus 40 Smith & Wesson. Again, obvious difference in performance. You got more expansion out of this 10 millimeter millimeter. More penetration out of the 40 though, because you didn't get as much expansion, so it went a little bit further. Definitely more energy dumped with the 10 millimeters. So there's no doubt that this 10 millimeter outperformed the 40 on this test. The problem is it enough to make a difference? Is it enough to really matter? Now I suppose every little bit does matter, but it's really just a shame that the 10 millimeter and the 40 in most commercial rounds these days are basically identical. This 10 millimeter has a lot more potential that's not being utilized, and it really is just a shame. All right, y'all, there we have another 10 millimeter versus 40 Smith & Wesson test. Both of these rounds gave us some excellent performance like Critical Duty pretty much always does. You get fantastic penetration out of these things. Not a whole bunch of expansion, but definitely enough to get the job done. And that 10 millimeter was very impressive, even on the expansion, to be honest with you. These Critical Duty rounds are never known for incredibly big expansion on them. They're more for penetration, and they definitely got some good penetration. And like I say, pretty good expansion out of them. Now, as far as this 10 millimeter, it outperformed the 40 on this test, but it's still a very poor example of what a 10 millimeter can do. I've already said it multiple times, but it really is just a shame how watered down most of the mainstream 10 millimeter rounds are these days. But all that being said, I would definitely feel very good about having either one of these rounds in my arsenal. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the performance of both these rounds. Do you think one did vastly better than the other one, or do you see them like I do as pretty much the same performance? If you did enjoy the video, as always, take a second, reach down and hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you click that bell notification icon so you can get notified when I upload these videos. Take a minute and check out my affiliate links down below in the video description if you want to support the channel and get something you was going to shop for anyway, especially from Amazon. Hit that Amazon link up first. It goes straight through the site like normal from there, and anything you buy anywhere off of Amazon, I get a kickback from towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. If you're looking for some really good ear pro at some big savings, check out those actual affiliate links down below. You can save quite a bit of money by going through those links versus going straight through their site. I appreciate all my Range Game members for hitting that join button and supporting the channel, and every single one of y'all out there that watches these videos, subscribes to the channel, hits that thumbs up button, and leave me those comments down below. Like I said, let me know what you think about these Critical Duty rounds. I got a lot more stuff planned for out here today and plenty of good stuff coming y'all's way, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.